our urban institutions allow us to function and grow as a society, as well as reflect challenges and solutions. So the design and subsequently the way it makes us feel defines our culture now and in the future.
I have to break a lot of stereotypes in my life. And so I love breaking, a lot of stuff. But the whole idea is that, I believe that our kids can make a difference, that every kid deserves a chance, and not just the ones that, have the resources, but the ones that lack the resources is much more important to me. And so advocating for them.
I actually think coordination, making it visible, and making it accessible and making it part of something that people can actually understand really. When I say visible, I mean, we're talking about arts, design, architecture, right? We know what it means to visualize things. I also think if you can visualize economics, but I think if you can visualize what we need to do infrastructurally first, and in the built environment, and protecting our water, our energy, and our food.
But there's this big ask from the community to do regenerative tourism. It's a way to give back and to have a more sustainable model and all those things. And if we look at sustainability is how to minimize your negative imprint, right? And if you look at regenerative tourism, it would be how to maximize your positive impact on the community, the economy around you, I would say, right? And so it's a shift in that direction. So I think it's the next step up from sustainability.
It's a four-year institution. Now there's for-profit. There's so many online schools. There's the whole educational higher ed institution is completely changing from when I went to college, right? So I do think that that's becoming a major change. It's creating a lot of conversation on how the University of Hawaii and other colleges are going to adapt to that. And the ones that are prepared, I think will be around. But I would say that, athletics is a function of the institution. And as that changes, athletics will adapt.
There were 23,000 vacation rentals that got added in residential areas not zoned for visitors. So in Waikiki, you have international marketplace, you have restaurants, you have parking structures, sewers, you've got thousands and thousands of hospitality workers who service and entertain them to keep them all surrounded by alawa. It's like a moat. Separates the community from the visitor. And then that worked for decades, up to 2010. And then 23,000 units went into the community, the neighborhoods.
And then when you drill down, it's like, what do we value as a culture? What do we value as a community? And then once you get that, then it's the how. And that how is what lets you redesign what those are.
Working with the kids is the easiest part of my job. Helping to change people's mentality that kids can change or people can change, hardest part of our job, And so sometimes I like to just go back into the field and just keep working with the kids and just make that happen. Everybody wants things that, they want that magic bullet, but it needs investment into people.
So if the institution were to actually increase from 30 to 35%, we would see an increase from the community to support it. Because everybody likes the winner. Everybody wants cool stuff, right? So that's kind of our answer, that it's an investment, right? It's an investment in the institution when you spend that money. And that's why we also believe that Aloha Stadium will support the community because it will put Hawaii on the map.
That primary source material really functions as a knowledge base, right? Ancestral knowledge, biological knowledge, and it's just not the physical material, but it's the intangible knowledge. And that is what we want to grow. It's both protective, the ancestral and biological knowledge that is intertwined, and to be able to make it accessible so that you can grow that and actually perpetuate.
What happens to a kid when someone is killed? nobody really addresses the kids. And so we expect that the kids will be resilient enough to just get through this, but it's not. And so, we just have this vicious cycle. We have mobile programs, mobile assessment centers, mobile education centers that have been, our staff goes out finding these kids, looking for them at every crack and, abandoned building, and we're working with them and saying that we gotta get you back in.
I think with the industry, there's been a lot more of these like Hawaiian cultural directors and programs, all kinds of things that have developed over the last, I would say maybe 10 years in Hawaii. So you get these really authentic experiences, but you're also able to go and get education on the history and the culture.
In terms of the idea that you can come to Hawaii and actually not know where you are, not know that there are hundreds of years of history and culture here, how special the environment is, what is it that people, are coming for? And I think we need people to know that you're coming here with something much deeper and greater.